In this video, I'll be answering a recent question from one of our long-term community members, as in like over 2 years long-term, Corey, who said, Alex, you should do an updated YouTube video of all the websites you use regarding the markets, a top 5 to 10 or something like that. I thought this was a phenomenal question because just like pilots use radar and other navigation tools to help navigate, traders use financial websites to help us gauge the overall market. This is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I'm gonna be sharing all 30 of the sites I auto open every single morning. Welcome to everyone new to this channel, and welcome back for all the traders already subscribed. You might be wondering why listen to me. I'm a full-time trader, over 5 years of experience, and many more on and off years before switching to full-time. So I usually use Chrome for everything that I do non-trading related, but when I'm trading, I use Firefox, and mainly because I just have the bookmarks for either browser set up perfectly. So for trading, I got my... But most importantly, for this video, we have the news section, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So what I usually do is I go to control click. You can also do open all bookmarks, but let me just show you guys control and then click, and then boom, all of them open up. And then I basically work through it one by one. It goes pretty fast. You would think it's a lot of tabs, but some I don't have to look into that much. Some go fairly quickly. So for example, my first tab is FinViz, which I absolutely love. And I usually have one of my current swing trades pinned on this one. So if I, let's say, was trading Apple, for example, I would go to news and then I would go to edit. I would just change it to AAPL, for example. That way I always have the latest ticker. But I love using FinViz. I even have the pro version because the ads were a little bit too much for me, and you get more information. One of those key information things that I love is when you scroll all the way down, you can see the insiders buying here. Now you also get a little bit of this information like a sneak preview, but you don't get it all. Anyway, I love the quick overview this site gives me. FinViz is absolutely amazing, and look at all these buyers coming in on coin. Maybe it's a good time to buy if all the insiders are buying, although it's just Tobias, so who knows what Tobias is doing. And especially for small caps, obviously coin is not a small cap, but I always like to look at the float for the small caps that I'm trading. So FinViz, amazing overview. Now I actually just popped this one up, SimplyWall.St. I do use this one quite a lot for my research. It's a little bit more in depth. I also have a pro account. Check out the first pinned comment below this video to claim your 2 free weeks. So for me, when I have a little bit more time, that's really when I like to use SimplyWall.St. I even have a video that goes a little bit more in depth on this site, but overall I'm using FinViz for quick overview and then SimplyWall.St for more in-depth analysis. I really like how this website breaks things down. It's just absolutely phenomenal. The next site I have is actually Trade Journal by yours truly. I have it open to my post page. That way I can see very quickly my latest posts, and then I can go to it and start editing it, or start working on the ones that are not public yet. What I also do a lot is check out the activity from traders that I follow, and I'll usually be commenting on their trades and reading their posts because there's sometimes really good insights on those. Another site I use is Morning Brew. Again, check out that first pinned comment or a little bonus if you want to sign up to Morning Brew. But I really like how Morning Brew breaks down the overall news in a finance specific way. I do oftentimes go through this on the stream. PS, I stream every day the markets open from 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till about 10-ish, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to catch some live trading, I'll see you there. Anyway, this is one of those classic sites that I love to read on the live stream and sometimes before the live stream, and I'll just mention some important things that I find relevant to maybe the trading day with you guys. But you can really see here, I mean, JPAL right here, front page. So a busy week for the economy. And they also send you it via email. So oftentimes I'll be reading these really early on in the day. This leads me to my next site, NPR. And actually the next few sites you'll see up here, NPR, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and I have a few more news sites. Anyway, they tend to repeat themselves all a little bit, and that's why I like to read the Morning Brew first, and then I see sometimes the same stories being reiterated, and they help me get different angles on each story, which is really important. NPR, really big fan, and then NPR radio is really solid too. So the news sites, like I did mention, just to get a different take, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Look at this, higher interest rates again, few losses at the Federal Reserve. Really good to know macro level what's going on in the world. That's why I have these larger news sites. This will usually never give me any micro trade ideas like specific to a stock, but at the same time, especially with my swing trading, I like to have a good bird's eye view of the overall world and economy to know how aggressive I should maybe be going. Bloomberg, and at this point, you're starting to get a lot of reiteration, but it's still really nice to see sometimes how the headlines are different and then also how the context is different and the body for further reading. Some of these are paid sites. If you don't have subscriptions to all of them, you can still do a little bit of headline scanning. The next is Wall Street Bets. I guess don't make too much fun of me, but I do love me some good Wall Street bets and memes, and anytime I find a really good meme, I'm always sure to post it in our Discord. That's in the video description below this video, totally free. You gotta know what Wall Street Bets is up to. HighShortInterest.com. I actually find this website to be pretty helpful. I've gotten some really good trades off of this website. It's rare that I do, but knowing a short float on a stock is really important. And then again, you can go back to FinViz, BYND, Beyond Meat. So this one now has a high short float. Look at that. So a short ratio of almost 7 days. It would take 7 days for all the shorts to cover. That's absolutely brutal. So it's like, oh, okay. So high short interest just gave me a trade idea with BYND. There might be a squeeze opportunity on this one. Probably the first site that gives me a little bit more micro insights, obviously besides FinViz and Simply Wall Street, but this one is more like a scanner, my first real scanner. I also sometimes use MarketWatch tool screen short interest. Ultimately, it's a little bit of the same thing as highshortinterest.com, but I do notice that sometimes one site picks up something that the other site doesn't, so I have these two. Coming back to Wall Street Bets, I have quiverquant.com/Wall Street Bets up, and here you can see some of the highest mentions of different tickers popping up, and I do find this kind of interesting to see what kind of trends we're seeing on some specific stocks. Look at this, Meta starting to pick up, and I wouldn't be surprised if our BYND popped up with that high short float and short interest. So keep an eye on BYND popping up. I don't see it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did pop up on Wall Street Bets being mentioned. Boom, look, we already have a trading idea popping up. DailyFixFX.com sentiment report. I don't use this as much as I used to. It gives you a good idea how bullish or bearish something is right now. Wall Street is quite bearish. This is really good if you want to do a bit more futures or commodities. For me, sometimes I notice something that really sticks out, but otherwise I'll skip over this one pretty quick. I also use lookintobitcoin.com stock to flow model. I really like this page because you can see that whole cyclical progression with Bitcoin, and this always highlights the days until the next halving. Now, I'm not going to talk too much into detail about this chart, but I do like to zoom into it and think, looks like we have a nice little floor coming, and right now we're below the stock flow average, so maybe not a bad time to DCA. Good bird's eye view macro site. I got TradingView. Who doesn't have TradingView? I mean, it's absolutely amazing for those asset classes that you just don't get on your broker. It's definitely a must-have. CoinMarketCap, obviously very, very important. See things moving. You even have trending tickers, which I'll scan. But oftentimes, I just really like to look up certain altcoins and see the overall flow, keep an eye on the top 10. So on and so forth. And then there's a nice crypto.com heat map, which I find really interesting. And look at that, Dogecoin is part of DeFi. Stop the madness. Now this is a really good one, 8marketcap.com. It's actually infinitemarketcap.com, but they just used the letter 8 here, or the number 8, not letter. There was a time I was trying to memorize the top 20 and I was able to get to like number 17 of the top companies, just because I liked having a good idea what the large companies market cap was, and it just gave me a better feel for numbers, because sometimes you read this company had $20 billion of revenue and you're like, what does that even mean? Is that a lot? Is that not a lot? Well, if you know that Bitcoin is about $40 billion worth, you know, $20 billion in revenue for a quarter or a year or what have you is not a small amount of money. So I love 8marketcap.com or infinitemarketcap.com because it puts things in perspective. Where's Meta? Is Meta even on this list anymore? Here it is. It recently dropped 8 places. Oh my lord. I was using CryptoQuant a lot more in the past, but they recently changed their layout and hid a lot of stuff behind a paywall, and I don't use it as much as I used to, but still you get some nice inflows, outflows analysis and some good sentiment indicators. It is a nice little overview. Look at this, exchange reserve, smiley face, reserve decreased, lower selling pressure. So hey, there's definitely a lot of buy indicators in the crypto world right now. They have really nice charts as well, and I'm not even sure why I'm not signed in right now. I'm usually signed in. You got gotta love alternative.me/crypto. You got the fear index here, and right now it's only 31 fear. That's not too bad. There was a time we were chilling in the low 10s and the single digits for quite some time, so we're not in that area anymore, which I guess is a good thing. I do love me some good old German news, so I have the Tagesschau up here, and I'll often watch the 100 seconds first thing in the morning. I find German news to be very black and white, and I really appreciate that. You know, within a minute and a half, I have a really good idea of what's going on, as opposed to when I watch American news, after an hour, I have no idea what's going on, and I'm a little bit pissed off. What's really cool about Tagesschau is every day they also show the newsreel of 20 years ago, and it's just super insightful to watch because it really gives you perspective of just like, wow, you know, let's take a step back and think, how are we going to feel about today's news 20 years from now? Really smart idea from Tagesschau. I use Google Trends just to see what's going on. I have first the /trends with geolocation US, and then I have trend searches here as well for the keywords. They're both similar, and I go through them fairly quick, and there's always way too much sports on here. For more in-depth reading, I really like G0. This is their newsletter page, and I have a nice quick overview of some of the things they've been coming out with. US Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS.gov. Always really important when the CPI comes out, so I made this specifically just for the CPI so I don't forget. Our next one is coming out November 10th, so don't forget at 8:30, you probably should not be in any day trades. Also, holiday and trading hours, this page from the New York Stock Exchange. I absolutely love this one. I use this one so much, and you guys probably see me pop this one up every now and then on the stream. Our next holiday is on Thursday, the 24th, so I'll probably end up taking Wednesday and Friday off and make like a really nice 5-day weekend out of this one. That's going to be really nice. Ooh, that's a lot of days off. I recently started using this site, trendingeconomics.com. I think Colby from the Discord pointed this one out, disciplined day trader. And I always have impact selected 3, and I just have country US selected. And this gives me a really good overview of some of the bigger things that's going to be coming up. Remember CPI here, November 10th. Great quick overview and more in depth on every topic if I just click on it. Now I should probably group things a little bit better. You know what? I'll just do that right now. Boom, done. This is another short squeeze site, so anything with a high short interest you'll be seeing here, and Peggy was one of those contenders, and actually we did trade a ticker that was listed here like 2 weeks ago. Always good to keep an eye on those high short interest stocks. BYND, guys, BYND, mark my words. I'm currently long pesky penguins on my NFT collection. I have some stuff that's maybe a little bit less relevant for everybody. Pesky penguins is one of my bigger NFT holdings. It's no crazy size, but at the same time, I always like to get a good idea of what's going on. I also use SolanaFloor.com, which gives me a really nice overview of some of the listed NFTs and the cheapest ones, but a little bit more NFT related, not so important for day trading stocks. And then obviously I have Canva.com to make my NFTs, which I've been starting to make on the streams with you guys. And if you don't want to miss any memes, follow me on Twitter. That's where I post all these memes. There's actually 2 more sites that I use, but they're a little bit more research related, and I don't have them in the news folder, and you'll see in a second why. The first one is Halt. So when a ticker halts, I use the NASDAQtrader.com, where I can see why a ticker halted, and I can even check out other tickers that did halt, and I'll know how long a ticker is halted for. This is a really, really helpful page that I use quite selectively, but I always use it at some point. The second site is straight up SEC.gov. Honestly, nothing beats going to the source. Right here, you can see everything from Coinbase that they recently filed. You get their 10Qs, 8Ks, shelf registrations. You never know what you're gonna find here. Go to view filings and dive into it. Especially if you're dealing with IPOs, you get their perspective. Honestly, I don't know any professional trader that doesn't use SEC.gov. I feel like most financial sites are just derivatives of SEC.gov. So definitely use this one without a question. So this is a bit random. I just got back from my morning walk and I'm almost done with my espresso, and I realized I forgot to ask you, what's your go-to financial website, and which one of the sites that we talked about here today are you definitely going to be adding to your bookmarks? Now that you got to read on the overall market, aka the macro, you still have a problem. You'll still need to find specific stocks worth trading, aka the micro. Luckily for you, I've grouped that information together as well. Check out this video where I break down my stock screener to really get the results you want.